17 weeks, y'all. We got 17 weeks left.
We're gonna get there together. You and me and whoever else is watching these videos, we are gonna get there together, and it's gonna be awesome.
It is so early, 3 o'clock in the morning, and my voice is gone. Oh my God. It is travel day. I am getting ready to head to the airport right now. I'm just gonna fix my hair and things before I go. It's freezing in here this morning. Wow. All right, so I packed up last night. We're gonna head to the airport. We're traveling today. I haven't traveled in a little over a month, so I travel a lot if y'all haven't gathered that yet, but let's get ready to go and head to the airport. The lighting is not great in here right now because it is 3 o'clock in the morning, but before I headed out, I wanted to go ahead and give y'all the 17-week physique update. So here it is. Woke up this morning feeling lean. My digestion finally sorted itself out yesterday, so today's the day. Y'all, we got 17 weeks left. I started at 27 weeks. The fact that it's 17 weeks left absolutely blows my mind. I have been doing this for 10 weeks now. It feels like it's been forever. 17 more weeks. I made it to the airport.
If you do have more than 2, consolidate everything. If you do have strollers, car seats, or any assistance.
It's like 6 a.m. at this point. I got here thinking that they were going to be boarding us here and still had to wait 15 extra minutes. Good morning, happy Sunday. We're getting ready for the gym. I am back from traveling. This is day 1 back from traveling and time to get back on track. Okay, this past week I was still consistent with my workouts. I was still consistent with my meal plan. I did get a cheat meal. My coach told me I could have a cheat meal, and I took full advantage of that, and I went and got Mexican food. So it was wonderful and amazing, and I have no regrets. I was having extreme cravings, and those cravings are gone now. I had told her about it during check-in, and she was like, well, have you had a cheat meal? And I was like, not in the last couple of months. And she was like, go have a cheat meal. Cool. I will do just that. Went out, got Mexican food with no regrets. But now that my mind feels right again, because I was feeling like a rabid animal with rabies, thinking about food constantly, and I think that just put cheat meals into a completely new perspective for me, because the fact that I had a cheat meal and my cravings and all the food noise and everything is literally gone, that speaks volumes, I think. So if you're in prep, just trust the process, okay? But we're getting ready for the gym. It is Bootylicious Bubblegum Day, and y'all seem to really like when I call it that. It started as a joke, but now I think I'm going to keep calling it that because I like it. It's fun. It makes me feel good. I didn't get in from my flight till like 2 a.m. last night because both my flights got delayed. My first flight and my connecting flight. And I wanted to scream and cry and everything else because when I finally got to my airport, they had us sitting there in the plane for over an hour. Over an hour before they actually parked and let us get off the plane. And I was stuck in the middle of two stinky old dudes, like, please help me. It was awful. It was actually awful. One of the worst, actually the worst flying experience I think I've ever had. So there's that. But we're going to the gym. We're a little late today because it was 2 a.m. when I got home. But we're going to the gym. Let's go.
It is Sunday. I'm technically 16 weeks out now. I don't have an update yet from my check-ins. Normally we do check-ins on Sundays, but my coach is currently in Atlanta, in the Women's Figure Pro in Atlanta. So we're going to be doing check-ins on Tuesday. So whenever I get my check-in, I will still do the physique update in this video, but whenever I get my check-in, I think I'm going to post a second video this week because 17 weeks out, there wasn't a lot that I could post. I was literally traveling the entire week, so maybe we can sit down and talk more about consistency while traveling and how you can maintain if you have to travel while you're in prep, how you can still stick to your meal plan. You know, maybe if you have travel plans and you are due for a refeed or a cheat meal, that would be a good time to plan for that instead of just like your coach saying, hey, you can have a cheat meal and then you going crazy. You know, you want to plan for those things, I feel like. So maybe that's something that we can sit down in this video and kind of talk about the travel and everything. And even while traveling, you know, coming back and not having gained any weight. I feel like that's a big win because when you're traveling, you know, sometimes it's not possible to stay 100% on plan, but you can still make changes, you can still make tweaks, you can still stick to your macros, you can still, you know, even if it's not the exact foods, you can still stick to your plan, you can still progress, you can still maintain your weight if that's what you're trying to do, or even lose. So we'll talk about how I was able to do that at 17 weeks out, because I do want to talk about my travel with you guys, and there wasn't really a lot of it that I could show. So we'll at least sit down and talk about it. I do have to work today, so I'm going to go home and get showered because I have to work in like an hour, but we will sit down and we will talk about it, I promise. I just got done at the gym. Now we're going to go home, get showered up, and have chat. I still haven't gotten my update from my check-in as of right now, so I'm like getting really anxious. I'm getting really antsy right now, like what's it gonna be, because the end of 17 weeks marks the beginning of 16 weeks, and with that comes the like official, you know, start of prep, or at least what most people would consider the official start of prep, where you like really start cutting. And I'm nervous for that after last week, because I was actually talking to my old coach about it, because him and I are friends, and basically he was like, yeah, you know, you're doing a lot, your body's like went into shock essentially, not getting like all the foods that you're used to and things, and you're working extra hard. And it was basically like, feed me bitch. So all these extra cravings that I was having just out of nowhere, right? I didn't understand it, and I didn't understand why it was happening, because before I got like heavy into the gym and heavy into bodybuilding, I was somebody who did not eat like ever. I was eating very little calories. I actually had to build myself back up to eating a normal amount in order to gain the muscle that I've gained. And you know, my body actually got used to eating, and changing that all of a sudden to starting cutting calories, even if it's just cutting a little bit, because you're burning so many more calories than you're eating, I guess just sent my body into a shock, which I guess is why the cheat meal really worked for me, and works for other people. And I guess that's like the whole science behind the refeed cheat meal cycle. But the thing is once you get to that point, in prep where you can no longer do that and you don't get refeeds anymore, that's where the mental stress and the mental toll takes a lot. And that's where a lot of people will quit. That's where a lot of people will give up. And that's where a lot of people will be like, I can't do bodybuilding anymore because I can't handle it. And that's how you end up in that situation. And that's why at the beginning, the very, very beginning, I started watching vlogs. I started doing research. I started writing rules for myself when I get into those times to remember it's only temporary. Be positive. It's only temporary. Find something else to occupy your mind, because you're paying the price of something that's worth it. If you want it bad enough and you want to be successful, you will have the discipline and you will do it. Bodybuilding is not for everybody. Bodybuilding is an extreme sport. And if it was easy, everybody could do it. And that's the thing. So if you're in the middle of it right now and you're thinking, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. Like, is it worth it? Is it your dream? Is it what you want to do? Do you want to go pro? What do you want to do? You have to decide if that's worth it for you in order to go through that. And for me, it's absolutely worth it. And I think it's nice to have people in the community that you can talk to that have been through it multiple times, that can experience it. Because this is my first time going through this. I've never been through this before. So my body has no idea what the hell's going on, right? So it's just, all of this is very, very new in this aspect. Okay, when my mindset was different and I was demonizing food, essentially, it was a lot easier to not eat it. Because I was like, food is bad, food is bad, food is bad. And now my body is like, food is good. Food is fuel. Food is where I want to be. And like the relationship has changed completely with food. It's very, very different now. And once you start pushing yourself to the limits that you push yourself into in bodybuilding, because you are pushing yourself to extreme limits, like part of this towards the end, like it's not healthy and it's not maintainable. And that's something that like you really need to understand, that it is temporary. You will go back. It is not healthy to stay stage lean. It is not healthy to eat in as big of a deficit as we are eating. And honestly, that's why I really don't talk about the calories in my videos, because I don't want someone to watch this and think, well, if I just do what she's doing and I eat what she's eating, I'm going to lose weight, because that's not the goal here. The goal is to build muscle and become stage lean. And in bodybuilding, you are pushing your body to extreme limits. It is an extreme sport. It is not a weight loss diet. It is not something that is maintainable. And that is something you really, really need to understand. It is temporary. It is temporary. It is temporary. And I'm trying to tell myself this too. It is temporary. I will get to eat more again. It is temporary. And just keep that mindset and keep going through it. And just know that you are going to push your body to extreme limits. And even in the beginning, it feels like you're pushing your body to extreme limits. So if you keep that mindset from the beginning, you'll be able to push yourself through the end. And I know that I can push myself through the end. And we are going to get there. We're going to get there together. You and me and whoever else is watching these videos, we are going to get there together. And it's going to be awesome. All right, let's go home. Y'all, right after I just started talking about getting feedback from my coach, I just heard from her. She texted me and she basically was like, hey, can you come into the gym tomorrow and we're all gonna train together, you, me, and a couple other girls. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. So I'm pushing 16-week territory here. And I was like, hey, you know, am I gonna get my feedback today? I know you're busy, it's fine, like not a big deal, but I was wondering when. Basically, she told me she's going to see me in person tomorrow, analyze some things, and probably switch up my training a little bit, which I have a feeling is going to be something upper body related. I'm not quite sure. I actually don't know yet. But she did say that I am looking tighter, so I don't think anything drastic is going to be happening with my food just yet, which is kind of nice. I like having calories right now. But I know that we are tightening things up right now, so I don't know what she's going to do just yet. That's probably going to come in the next video, because we're pushing into 16-week territory and I want to keep this 17-week update. But that's the feedback I got for my 17 weeks. My 17 weeks, 17th week, the end of my 17th week. Oh my God, we have 16 weeks left. Why does it feel like my show is tomorrow? There are 16 weeks left. Considering I started 27 weeks out. And now there's 16 weeks.
Okay, I am back home now and freshly showered. And before we even get started, I just wanted to say I am not somebody who is aesthetic per se. This is me. I'm a real person. This is real life. If you're looking for someone who is aesthetic, I would recommend following anyone else. Let me just preface this with that. But the main thing that I want to talk about right now is how you can stick to your goals while traveling in prep. So this last week, I did travel to another state on a plane, all the things, and I was there for almost the full week, pretty much the full week. So the planning that it takes to stick to your goals whenever you're traveling in prep, there is quite a bit. So I just want to give you some options of things that you can do, things that I did while traveling, to be able to maintain your diet, maintain your workout plan, stick to your goals, so that way you're not having any falling off track, any cheat meals that you're not supposed to have, any of that thing. If you saw my last video, I did get a cheat meal. I was having a lot of issues last week, and my coach was like, you know what, you need a cheat meal, have one. I planned it out for a while I was gone on purpose. I could have had it at that point in time, but I chose not to. I waited till I was gone, so that way I had a little bit more freedom, at least for one meal. But for the rest of my meals, I had a kitchen, I went grocery shopping, I stuck to my meal plan the same way that I always would. So that's something that's really important, especially as you get deeper into prep. If you decide you want to try to go on a vacation, or if you want to have some sort of social life or fun or travel, or you got a family thing, whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. You should still be able to do that. You don't want to throw your whole life away for prep, okay? I don't recommend throwing your whole life away. I don't have the ability to do that. I have to travel, especially with my job. My job makes me travel every so often, so I have to go to another state for that, and I still have to stick to my goals. The next time I'm going to be traveling is for work, and I'm going to be 3 weeks out from show. 3 weeks out from show, so I'm still going to have to maintain even more importantly for that. Okay, so here's some ways that you can do that. What you can do, honestly, even just kind of starting out, the biggest thing is going to be grocery shopping. Grocery shop when you get there. Figure out where a grocery store is. If you need a Walmart, a Target, a Publix, whatever, figure out where you're going and have your meal plan. Figure out where you're going to grocery shop, and then figure out how you're going to cook that. So for example, if you are staying with a friend or family, obviously just use their kitchen. I'm sure they won't mind. If you're staying at an Airbnb, you should have a kitchen there. If you're staying at a hotel, you can find hotels with kitchens, or at least a kitchenette. As long as they have a microwave and a refrigerator, a good bit of the time, you can work with that. I had to work with it before, on my last work trip. I had to work with a microwave and a mini fridge, and I did it, and I managed just fine. There's so much you can do with microwave and mini fridge. You don't have to shop for a whole week at a time. You can do little by little, do what you got to do. The other options, okay, say you end up in a hotel, you can't find one with a kitchen, and you still need to cook, and you're like, I can't with just a microwave and a mini fridge. Here is something I have done before. As someone who used to travel with the military every other year, and who has lived out of hotels in between PCS moves for months at a time, here's my biggest tips. And here's why I think this is so easy. You can order packages to hotels, if you did not know. And you can get a cheap air fryer. You can get a cheap electric skillet. Plug that sucker in. You have a pot. You can cook whatever you want on, just like a stove, pot, pan, whatever, it doesn't matter. Get the flat skillet, or you can get the griddle. You can get the flat griddle or the big pot skillet. You can get whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Get one of those. Okay, order it to the hotel. Or order an air fryer to the hotel. You put anything in an air fryer. You can cook anything in a skillet. As long as you have those two things and a mini fridge, you're fine. Cook food, heat it up in the low microwave, and move on about your day. It's literally that easy. I thought this was going to be a lot longer,
of a conversation, but it's really not. It's literally so easy to keep up in a hotel. And like, even if it's a little cheap one and you just donate after, or if you have room in your suitcase, bring it home or mail it back to yourself or return it. It's an Amazon pack. You can literally return it at the end of the day if you really wanted to. Like, there's so many options, right? So there shouldn't be an excuse to fall off track while you're traveling. And hotels have gyms, obviously some nicer than others. If you find a gym in that area, call them up and ask if they have a day pass. That's what I did this last time. I still needed to go to the gym. I called up the gym, hey, or messaged them on Instagram, hey, you guys do day passes? If you do, how much is it? Do you have a pass for the week? I'm gonna be there for the week. Get a day pass. Get a Planet Fitness membership for the week. The Planet Fitness is freaking everywhere. Okay, pay $20, $10, whatever. Go to the Planet Fitness while you're there. And if you don't already go there all the time, cancel that shit before you leave. Like, it's literally so easy to get a $10 membership at Planet Fitness. Do what you gotta do and get up out of there. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, there is no excuse as to why you can't stick to your routine while traveling. If it's for work and you're on a schedule for work, yes, you are going to have to adjust your schedule. The last time I traveled for work, I was getting up at 4 a.m. every day, okay, just to go to the gym, just to get it in, just to get it done, okay? This time I had to travel. Same thing. Before, I was doing what I was doing for the day. I went to the gym, did what I had to do, stuck to my meal plan. Like, it's not hard. And I'm not trying to say this like put anybody down. I'm trying to say this because sometimes we get in our heads that like it's much harder than it actually is, and you're like, oh my god, I can't do this, and you tell yourself that like there's no way I can stick to this while I'm gone, when the reality is that that's just not true. And all I'm trying to say is, give yourself a little bit more credit. Sometimes you got to get a little creative. And if you want more travel tips, just in general, you know, as someone again who travels all the time, it's literally what my channel used to be dedicated to, was travel. So, and cheap travel at that. Cheap travel. I know what I'm doing in this department at least. So that, definitely keep all of that in mind. And I hope that if you do have to travel while you're in prep, that you are able to do what you need to do. And here's one more option, actually. You can deliver stuff to hotels. You can deliver stuff to houses, Airbnbs, whatever. Wherever you end up staying, there are meal prep services out there. If you've never thought about that, like, there are places that will literally do your meal prep for you, like fitness meal prep companies, and ship it to you. So again, even if you just have a microwave and a mini fridge, you are solid. You're solid. And honestly, I might do that the next time that I have to travel for work in October, because my meal plan is going to be strict at that point, and I don't know if I'm going to have access to a kitchen. So I'm going to be taking my own advice. I've had to take my own advice every time. So that is how you travel during prep. Another option, okay, for that, if you're flying or whatever and you have like carry-on and your personal item, take your meal prep. If you freeze it, get you a bag like this one. This is my meal prep bag. This is my big one. I have a few, but this is literally like a big giant cooler, right? And there's a cooler on top, and I have like portable silverware that you can take through TSA, by the way. And there's so many pockets on this thing. I got this on Amazon for like $20. Okay, there's a million pockets. This one even has, I'm just showing you all the pockets. Like every pocket ever. Okay. Get a meal prep bag. Again, there's $20 on Amazon. Put your ice packs in it, right? Not loose ice, but your ice packs. Take it on the plane with you. As long as the stuff is frozen when you go through TSA the first time, you're fine. And then if you can find like a lounge or a microwave or whatever at the airport, heat it up there. Or you can do what other people do. I've even heard of girls like kind of sitting on their meals to heat them up a little bit. You gotta get creative in bodybuilding. It just is what it is. But that's also another option that you have while you're traveling. I use my meal prep bag all the time. I love it. It's great. It's wonderful. It fits a lot of stuff in there. And it's, even when like going to Disney World, in an old video you guys saw that I went to Disney World in prep like 2 weeks ago, and I just packed up my meal prep bag and I took it with me, and I considered that my cardio for the day. Like, Like it's not super hard. I know that it might feel challenging, or maybe like deep down you just want to have an excuse, but prep has really been a mind game, and the less excuses that you give yourself, the easier it's going to be. The less you're going to panic, the less you're going to stress, and the easier just prep overall is going to be for you. And I think that that's really what it's about. It's about doing that. And that's what I'm telling myself too. I'm not just telling y'all this, I'm telling myself this too. And when I go through this show and I look back at these videos, this is the things that I'm going to remember. And these are the things that I'm going to want to tell myself in the future again. So I'm telling them to you right now, and me, telling us both. Well, with all that being said, I do hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it was a very strange one, and things were kind of all over the place, but you know what? That's life, and that's reality. 16 weeks is going to be a little bit more exciting, I think, because I have a lot going on this week, and there are going to be some changes coming, updates coming to the training plan, going to go train with my coach, probably tomorrow, but you'll see that in the 16-week video. But I really would appreciate if you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. It would really, really help me out, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.